Hey everybody, this is me, the Undead Viking, and I'm here to talk to you about Draw Labs' cool new thing. These are the people that make the really cool metal coins. But anyway, Draw Labs' cool new thing, the dice throwers. Now, what's a dice thrower, you say? Well, I mean, a dice tower, we're all familiar with that. Most likely you put the dice in the top, they clatter around, and you get a result there. And the whole process of that is, like, it just make sure that you're getting a random roll. I mean, obviously you're not expecting somebody to cheat, but if like somebody, a really important die roll comes up and they roll the dice and the dice just kind of land and sit there, you know, it feels slightly off, if you will. But if you have some sort of purely mechanical randomization that you can't really do anything to like influence at all, then you can be sure that there is no question. Let the dice roll and fall where they may, kind of thing. So what you're going to have is you're going to have these cool contraptions that are made out of wood, and they're really cool looking. And they're going to have a cool little dice tray that you throw the dice into, and you're going to use these to roll your dice for your favorite board game or role-playing game or whatever it is that you're going to be using your dice for. And if you have kids, they are going to see these and they're going to play with them constantly, just like my children have been doing, which is cool because they're a lot of fun. But anyway, regardless, let me show you these things in action, and then we'll come back here and I'll give you my final quick thoughts about them. All right, cool. Alright, I have my giant purple ubiquitous bag of role-playing game dice over here. I have the dice tray that is interchangeable for all three of the dice throwers. The catapult, the hammer, and the crossbow slash ballista or what have you. And then this one is the dice tray where the dice are going to be thrown into. I do like this little thing here. No regrets. All shall perish. I do love that. This is laser etched wood. If you ever bought a game from Victory Point Games, you're probably familiar with what this looks like as far as the coloration, whatever. I do really dig it. These are very easy to assemble, so don't worry about that. So here we have the catapult. I'm just going to show you all three of these up close and personal before I actually get to the fun of throwing the dice around. So here we have, it has like a kind of like a horse, or it kind of looks like a seahorse or a hippocampus or something like that. And then same thing on the other side. Here's a little serpent up here, and then we have like what's like a stag over there. The dice go into this little tray here, and they pull it back and it fires them forward. But you'll see more of that here in just a little bit. Onto the crossbow or the giant ballista or whatever. Once again, it kind of looks like a sleigh, right? And so you can kind of see there's a little hawk here, some elvish writing on the side there. I don't know if that says anything or not. Same difference on the other side. You know, some other elvish writing. Crossbow has some etching up here as well. The dice kind of sitting there like they're going for a ride, and you're going to pull this back. Fire them forward, and they're going to shoot forward. I'll show you also that as well. And finally, the last one, the one that I really like, the Hammer of Thor. This one does not have any rubber bands on it. It just tips forward when it goes. So, I'm sorry, kind of loose there. So it just tips forward like that and dumps the dice out. So the dice actually sit up here, kind of like they're on a roller coaster or whatever. You can see the etching, the Norse etching or whatever on the side. On that side, I love this. Kind of like the cutout that's on there, and then you know, the Hammer of Thor, a cool Viking, of course. So you can probably guess why this one's my favorite. All right, so all of them have these little notches on the front, and those notches then sit in those notches right there, and that is how you set those up. So no time to lose. So the magic of video editing, we'll kind of cut away here, and then we'll come back and we'll go ahead and show you how each one of these suckers work. All right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and start with the catapult here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just grab some dice here. I'm just going to grab some random, and we're going to go ahead and put them in the little bowl there. And all you can do is let go of them, and they roll. It's more of a it's cooler than a dice tower in the fact that like you just drop those in there, and this actually causes them to rattle around and make some cool noises. And obviously the catapult will add a little bit to if you're playing a medieval game, or if you're playing any kind of medieval combat like a siege or something like that. Pretty straightforward. It works exactly like you'd think. As I said, the people at Draw Lab have like used these over and over and over again, and just to see if they could break one. And I guess they went like played with them over 5,000 times each, and nothing ever happened. You can load this sucker up with as many or as few dice as you want. So you're gonna roll them all there, and you can put like one puny little four-sided in there, and throw that in there. It's gonna be doing the same thing. So let's do one more big giant roll here, and then we'll move on to the next one. Here we go. All right, here we go with the catapult, or ballista, if you will. Let's just grab some four-sideds for a change of pace here. I'm just going to kind of show you how that works. So you go ahead and load those up into the little sleigh or carriage or whatever you want to call it over here. You can hold it down here because when you pull this back, you're just going to pull the whole thing. So you put your finger on the little stepping stone there, you pull it back, and you fire them forward. Pretty straightforward. It's just like the other one. You're gonna throw those dice, and you're gonna get a random roll via that possibility. And with this one, you can actually. I've had a few of them. I don't know if I will do it, but if there's one die in there, a couple times when I've had one die, I've actually gotten it to fly up and like hit the top of the castle. But I've yet to have actually dice fly out of the basin using the catapult in any way. So and I think this one kind of viscerally is more fun for me than the actual catapult, because this one I feel like I'm shooting it at the castle. If only there had been some cool Viking stuff on the side of this one, then it'd probably be my favorite. But instead, it's got the elvish stuff, and I'm not a real big fan of the elf stuff. But regardless, so there you go. You're firing a bunch of dice, and they fly forward. So let's just do one more cool shot, and then we'll move on to the Hammer of Thor, if you will. All right, here we go. This is the Hammer of Thor, the Viking one, if you will. And obviously, this is my favorite. This one relies on good old gravity to expel them out of their little hole here where you load them up. For whatever reason, this one kind of reminds me of like an amusement park ride, I guess, kind of like that old Viking ship or whatever that kind of would weeble back and forth. I don't know. I might be crazy. But you just load it up, and then when you're ready to roll, you just put it forward, and they fly out like that. So I do tend to, just to make sure that I expel them out of this little basin, I kind of flick it a little hard. I don't just kind of ease it forward. Then you can kind of have a die like sitting there a little bit, but whatever, it doesn't really matter, right? So let me just grab a few more dice here and put these in here. This might be like the smallest of the dice basins or whatever, but it doesn't seem to really matter. I mean, how many times are you going to be rolling like 20 dice at a time unless you're playing something really crazy? But so there you go. Ooh, that one almost flew out. And like also, I should mention, I've never had one fly like out of the castle using this one either. So just keep that in mind. So and you just as always, I mean, this is just a fun way to roll dice, and the big clatter and the big motion or whatever isn't because it adds anything other than just something cool to play with while you're playing your favorite board game or role playing game, if you will. So all right, one last one, and then I'll give you my final thoughts about these cool dice throwers. All right, thanks for taking the time to watch these puppies in action. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed throwing my dice around. And that's really what I've been doing with these constantly ever since I got them. I've just been having them and just using them over and over again, and throwing dice around my game room or my gaming table. I recently used them at a D&D session here at my house. My entire gaming group was like, "Whoa, where did you get those?" And like immediately they had to go around the table, and everybody was putting dice and flicking them around or whatever, and lots of dice, of course, because they didn't have the castle or whatever. They were like flying off the table and what have you. But regardless, we all had fun. Now, so ultimately, like I said, it rolls a die. Everybody's got dice. They can drop a die. They can roll a die. It's going to be doing the exact same thing that uh, your hands are already capable of doing. So you might say, well, why would I bother getting it? Well, ultimately, why? Because they're just cool. They look cool. There's something very fun and visceral about loading up the dice. There's something really cool about tipping this camera over and watching the dice cascade out and do their thing. That's what it is. And if you think they look cool, and if you think it would be cool to have them at your table next time you're playing D&D, or playing your war games, or playing another game that has a lot of dice, then you're going to understand why you'd want to get one of these. Now, I had one added benefit, just a quick little story, and I can tell quick stories. My son is 4, my daughter is almost 9. My daughter will sit next to me quietly and help me play D&D. She helps me play the NPCs of my campaign. If there is a bad guy that I'm like, what do you think this guy would do right now? Rylan will, tell me, oh, I think, he'd, go and get help, or I think he'd go talk to the wizard and see if he has some magic potions or whatever. So she kind of helps me stay on my toes and kind of twist things up and do different things that my game group, who's been with me for 30 years, they kind of know my tendencies. And so it's really fun when I have D&D at my house because she helps me out. Now, my son, he doesn't care. The only thing he'll do is he'll come and he'll steal my dice, and then he'll take them to his room and he'll roll them and play with them, and he'll use them like in his like Legos and stuff like that, and which is cool. I'm glad that he's got interest, but like then I have to go search for my dice. Now, however, when I got these, my son was like, "Whoa, those are cool," and I explained to him that if he wanted to sit next to me and be quiet, sit quietly, and he could be in charge of rolling all the dice and whichever one that he wanted to use, and he did. And so now I've been able to kind of slowly share my passion for role playing games with my son, through the use of this. And I'm sure that wasn't the intention in any way, shape, or form, but thankfully it is. So, and pretty soon, I'm pretty sure he's going to be wanting to play D&D with you like my daughter does. So that's really cool. And so I'm really happy they made these for that purpose, if only that purpose. But anyway, so ultimately, if you think they look cool, if you think it's going to be fun to have them at your table and throw dice around your table using these, then you're going to want to pick this up. They're sturdy, they're strong, they do exactly what they're supposed to, and as I said, they are super, super fun to use. So there you go. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions about these guys, any of the different things about it, go ahead and ask away. I'll answer those to the best of my ability. And yeah, I'm the Undead Viking, and I'm telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.